Music licensing reimagined.
Hi guys, welcome to this vlog. In this series, I will be showing you my 9 to 5 routine as a software engineer. I work primarily in the backend and I'm not an indie developer or a freelancer. This is a full-time office work, startup culture, real pressure, real deadlines. I'll be sharing you the real side of it all, the hustles, the stress, how the features are built, and especially how they're shipped and how we approach the problems on a day-to-day basis. Most of the content you see online is just showing the developer life in a fancy way. I want to keep it real and raw, while how the life works in Pakistan. Around 10:30 a.m. in the morning, we usually have our first stand-up meeting. It's a quick sync where everyone aligns on what they'll be working on. After that, I step out for a short walk just to clear my head and organize what I'm going to work on the day. Once I'm back at my desk, the first focus session of the day begins. I set the things up, get into the flow, and start working on my first priority task. I work remotely. This is my second job. I'm a backend engineer at a mid-level position. I've worked on site before, so I've experienced both setups. Remote work does come with some trade-offs of social interaction and office culture, but if you stay disciplined, it can significantly boost your productivity because it saves your time. Personally, I think hybrid setup works best. Let me know in the comments what your preference is. You might notice a phone on my desk. This isn't a personal phone, it's my work phone, so I keep it separate for work notification. Doesn't mix with my personal life. It's only for work, side projects, contractors. Nothing personal comes here. Even when I'm away from the desk, the phone stays connected while the notification remains quiet. Coming back onto my work, I work in the engineering in the health space, so it's a health tech product. For today, I'm working on a new internal tool for backend feature. The goal is to set up alarms so that if an API endpoint crashes or fails repeatedly, we get alert immediately. I start by designing the infrastructure and then move on to the implementation. Some R&D work done, as it was my first time setting this up. I usually wrap up the first focus session, which usually lasts around 2 hours. After that, I step away from the main setup, close the laptop, and move away from the monitors and shift my focus towards a lighter task. I usually grab chairs and sit somewhere where there is sunlight. When I was working fully on site, getting sunlight during the day felt impossible, and I'm sure you can relate as well. So whenever I get the chance, I make a point to step outside and get some sunlight. This part of the day is mostly for reviewing pull requests, preparing for upcoming work. I usually break features into much smaller tasks, create bullet points, and do some light research before deep diving into the next focus session later. So it lasts around 20 to 30 minutes maximum. Now that I'm back at my main monitors, the second focus session begins. At this point, I start working on the task I already planned earlier. I usually grab something light to eat, a fruit. It helps keeps my energy up. Staying fueled makes a real difference maintaining the focus throughout the day. Let me explain you the architecture in a bit more detail so it's useful for you as well. The core idea here is simple. Whenever the API starts failing repeatedly, we want to know immediately without depending upon the application itself. We start this by AWS CloudWatch alarms. CloudWatch monitors metrics from API gateway like all 400 errors and 500 error counts. Since API gateway sits in front of all the Lambda services, so it's more reliable place to detect failures. If error cross a defined threshold within a short time window, the alarm state changes from OK to alert alarm. And here, instead of attaching actions directly to the CloudWatch, we use Amazon EventBridge. EventBridge listens for these alarm states changes as events. This is important because EventBridge works independently of our application. So if all the lambdas are down, it still work. From EventBridge, we trigger different targets. One of them is SNS topic. SNS, or a simple notification service, is used to fan out notifications like sending emails or straight mobile alerts. We use also API destination, which is a feature of EventBridge. API destination allows us to send events directly to external system using HTTP endpoints, and that's how we push alerts to Google Chat Spaces. The same setup can be reused for Slack, Discord, WhatsApp, or any webhook based services. You can just replace the endpoint credential here. This keeps the design monitored, decoupled from the backend, make alerts reliable, and keep the system easy extended in the future. With the architecture finalized, that wraps up my second focus session. Since I work remotely, our schedule is flexible. The main work happens during the day, and the remaining hours can be adjusted depending upon priorities. I usually step out in the evening for a walk and come back later to finish implementation. This is episode 1 of part 5 series. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, make sure your status goes is 200.